Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I am grateful to stand in this House and committee to speak strongly in support of Bill 202, the Mandatory Reporting of Child Pornography Act. I think the honourable members of this Assembly, I want to thank the honourable members of this Assembly for their thoughtful responses during second reading. To tackle a problem of this magnitude, we must all work as one to achieve our goal. Mr. Chair, this bill will make the reporting of child pornography mandatory when someone comes across it, adding another weapon in the fight against this terrible woe. It is not a knee-jerk reaction to a dreadful problem, but a measured and reasonable response that is increasingly common at the provincial level. It will take measured, deliberate, and sustained coordination to stamp out this problem. As much as I want to see the proliferation of child pornography end immediately, I know it will be a process. This bill doesn't pretend to solve all the issues of child sexual exploitation, but it does reflect my approach in the past, step-by-step progress for the elimination of harm to children. As elected officials, we know how complicated the legislative process can be. Even issues with a broad consensus don't lead to decisive action. Care must be taken in response. Child pornography is a growing menace. It destroys children's lives. It leads to a lifetime of suffering, of damaged relationships, of heartache. This is an industry, Mr. Chair, an industry with revenues in the tens of billions of dollars annually, and the sexual deviants who sexually abuse children for money or to satisfy their sex perversions are actually on the leading edge of organized crime. I don't think there's any ambiguity about what child pornography is, but just in case any member of this Assembly are not sure, the Criminal Code of Canada is quite clear. The focus is on sexual material. There is a concern between nudity and sexuality, Mr. Speaker, but the fact of the matter is that child pornography is explicit sexual material involving acts, not poses. We are not talking about innocent family photos here, Mr. Chair. The honourable member from Calgary Varsity can rest assured that his family photo collection is safe. His family heritage won't be left in tatters. Museums and cathedrals will not be torn down brick by brick when it becomes obligatory to report child pornography. We are not the first province to propose this type of legislation, and we should not be the last. Albertans are reasonable people. They can see the difference between an innocent family photo and explicit pornography involving children. Privacy is a cherished value to Albertans. It is an essential element of freedom and choice, but every principle has its limits. Rights are limited by their effects upon other individuals and the community. For example, sexual offenders do not have the freedom to live wherever they please. The rights of offenders in general are curtailed in terms of travel. The only question this bill asks of Albertans to do is the right thing. Report pornography material involving children and let qualified law enforcement professions take over. This is not a scourge that we can fight alone. We must all work together. Past cases have met not only national but international cooperation to bring these children from harm and monsters to justice. There are great organizations in Alberta fighting this problem together. The ICE, Integrated Child Exploitation Unit, is a combined effort between the RCMP, Calgary, and Edmonton Police. The Child at Response Team, CART, is another joint effort for the protection of children. CyberTip is a national effort to curtail online exploitation of children. The federal government has been working on legislation towards increasing the protection of child exploitation. In fact, Mr. Chair, they have been working on this issue since 2002. Bills C-46 and 47 are slowly moving through the committee stage while we speak. As they are national in scope, they require the diligence to get the national execution correct. We do have a partner in Ottawa that understands the issues at stake. We should not waste any more time. We have the power to do something at the provincial level. We should think globally, and we should act locally. Many Internet companies voluntarily forward information in regards to sites peddling child pornography. We should build on the goodwill in the broader society and take the steps that other provinces in this great country already have. This bill has the support of law enforcement and so many law-abiding Albertans. With the support of the Assembly, we can make a difference in this war. Mr. Speaker, I will now table an amendment which speaks to a concern from the government on coming into force and moving that date from July 1st, 2010 to December 31st, 2010. The government indicated that they could not get the regulations in place by July 1st, and as a former Minister of the Crown, delaying till December 31st gives the Minister and their staff lots of time to get regulations in place.
So we pause and distribute the amendment.
Sorry?
We will pause and distribute amendment.
Okay, thanks.
She still have 4 minutes. Honourable members, this amendment is now known as Amendment A1. Honourable member for Calgary Fish Creek, please continue on Amendment A1.
Well, Mr. Speaker, as I noted earlier, I've been pleased to table the amendment which speaks to the concern from the government coming into force and moving that date from July 1st, 2010 to December 31st, 2010. The government indicated that they could not get the regulations in place by the 1st of July, and Mr. Chair, as a former Minister of the Crown, delaying till December 31st gives the Minister and the staff lots of times to get the regulation in place. So with that, Mr. Chair, I'll move acceptance of my Amendment A1.